lives in Florida, and Florida, which gets hit often by storms, who thinks of himself as being very comfortable because he has a lot of resources. After a certain storm, at which point he wasn't able to get to the bank to get those resources, and so he thinks as long as he has money, he's okay. And when he wasn't able to get to that money, he had to turn to the Red Cross in the U.S. as the point of helping him to have water and shelter, and began to understand, and as I said to him as he was being helped by the Red Cross workers, that Red Cross workers in the United States are part of the first line of defense, and that social workers are the largest component of the Red Cross when it comes to mental health service providers in a time of disaster. And so I said that that person who handed you water might have been a social worker who asked you, how were you doing? Did it make a difference? And he was able to say, yes, it did. So at that point, he was able to understand a little bit better that just because he had resources didn't mean that one day he might not be in a situation where he was going to have needs. I continually say that professional social workers not only provide services and practice in a variety of settings, including child welfare, but not only child welfare and foster care agencies, community action centers, hospitals, government offices, mental health centers, homeless shelters, and schools. We also work with persons of diverse ethnic, cultural, racial, economic, sexual orientation, and social backgrounds. We help people overcome some of life's most difficult challenges, including poverty, discrimination, abuse, addiction, physical illness, divorce, grief and loss, unemployment, underemployment, educational problems, disability, and mental illness. We have long been the safety net for a broad range of issues, including child welfare, mental and behavioral health, aging, corrections, health, military, and veterans affairs. The profession of social work and professionally trained social workers improve and enrich the lives of individuals and families, and we indeed help to build strong communities. So while the need for social work services will only increase with time, we're not equipped to keep pace with this demand. If schools of social work do not recruit new students, or if our organizations do not retain experienced social workers, if we don't join our professional social work organizations and pay our dues, I would encourage my friends here in Korsou to become more actively engaged and participate here in Korsou in your social work organization. Some of the latest data that comes out of Harvard University says that younger people are not joining professional organizations, nor are they participating at the rates that we need them to be able to do so that we can maintain these institutions that are so important. And this is true all over the world. That we have to, and we know, that the public will suffer from a lack of critical and needed services. This is particularly true in the areas of aging and child welfare. Social work has existed for over a century and has enriched many lives. Social work skills are broad and applicable in a variety of settings and make this profession unique and important. I have never regretted the decision I made to become a professional social worker. We are educated, experienced, and ethical and provide a diverse range of services across the lifespan. Our profession has historically dedicated itself to improving the welfare of society, of the individual, and working with communities towards self-realization. I believe, however, that as a profession, we must become even more engaged and radicalized. Paulo Freire said that the radical, committed to human liberation, does not become the prisoner of a circle of certainty, within which reality is also imprisoned. On the contrary, the more radical the person is, the more fully he or she enters into reality so that knowing it better, he or she can transform it. What Freire is saying here is that we can't stay in our own little bubbles and not begin to engage in dialogue with people across difference, that we really do have to be able to talk to people with whom we don't agree as a way of being able to move minds and to change hearts. He also said this individual is not afraid to confront, but they're also not afraid to listen and to see the world unveiled. This person is not afraid to meet the people or to enter into dialogue with them. This person does not consider himself or herself the proprietor of history of all people or the liberator of all the oppressed. But he or she does commit himself or herself within history to fight at their side. Freire also said that those who authentically commit themselves to people must also re-examine themselves constantly. People who believe in collective action as a way of meeting today's problems and who believe in the rule of law and the aims of a just society need to raise their voices. We cannot be silent. Someone whom I admire a great deal, Sweden's Dr. Hans Rosling, is known to say, do not believe that the impossible is not possible. He often then follows that statement by swallowing a sword, which I'm not about to do at this late hour of the day. But another hero of mine, the great feminist lesbian poet Audre Lorde, herself the daughter of Caribbean parents hailing from Barbados, said each of us has some power. You can choose to use your power. If you do, others will, and they will do so in your name. So let us commit to using our power and going from here and preparing to realize and actualize the commitments of the global agenda for social work and social development. Let us prepare to move the agenda forward here at this 11th annual ACSWE conference here in Korsou, and then on to Kampala to the ICSD conference next week. And then let us prepare to move this agenda forward on to Melbourne in 2014. My friends, we have work to do. But as a 35-year-old Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said in 1964, as he accepted his Nobel Prize, he said he had an audacious faith in the future of mankind. I have the audacity to believe that peoples everywhere can have 3 meals a day for their bodies, education and culture for their minds, and dignity, equality, and freedom for their spirits. And my friends, some 50 years later, so do I. Colleagues, let us commit to using our power and go from here and prepare to realize and actualize that vision both here and in the world. We are indeed up to this task. Malcolm X said, I'm for truth no matter who tells it. I'm for justice no matter who it's for or against. If you don't stand for something, then you will fall for anything. And so, we need to be prepared to go from here, prepared to take action, prepared to realize our own agendas, prepared to take on and to develop our own identity as Caribbean social workers and to argue our case and to move it forward. And in closing, I would like to say again, thank you for this invitation to be with you. Danke.